45. They all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. They say the prisoner of Spandau was a symbol of defeat. Whilst Hess remained in prison, then the fascists they would beat. So the promise of an Aryan world would never materialize. So why did they all come out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died? The world is riddled with maggots. The maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So if you meet with these historians, I'll tell you what to say. Tell them that the Nazis never really went away. They're out there burning houses down and peddling racist lies. And we'll never rest again until every Nazi dies.
Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. The invasion had begun. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. But I feel my time has come, and if I die here for the resistance, oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. And if I die here for the resistance, you must lay me in my grave among the flowers upon the mountain. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Among the flowers upon the mountain, let me rest among the brave. Someday the people will pick the flowers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Someday the people will pick the flowers, and they will remember my name. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of our resistance, and those who died for liberty.
Come all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell of how the good old Union has come in here to dwell.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
My daddy was a miner and I'm a miner's son, and I'll stick with the Union till every battle's won.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
They say in Harlan County there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Oh, workers, can you stand it? Oh, tell me how you can. Will you be a lousy scab or will you be a man?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Don't Don't scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
I was born in the Dublin street where the loyal drums do beat, and the lovely English people walked all over us. And every single night when they tell come home tight, he'd invite the neighbours out with his chorus. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lace of Gillishandra. Come tell us how you slew them old Arabs 2 by 2. Like the Zulus, they had knives, bows, and arrows. Of how bravely you faced one with your 16-pounder gun, and you frightened all the natives to the marrow. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lakes of Gillishandra. Come let us hear you tell how you stand the brave Parnell and taught them well and truly persecuted. Where are the stares and jeers that you proudly let us hear when our heroes of 16 were executed? Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lakes of Gillishandra.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch all with the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch all with the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead.
Oh, come out, you pretty sons, come out and fight without your guns. Show your wife how you won medals up in Derry. You murdered 16 men and you'll do the same again. So get out of here and take your bloody army. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lakes of Gillishandra. Oh, come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lakes of Gillishandra.
Buckingham Palace announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Do that again. I didn't understand it that time. Take it easy. Yes, Mr. Hiller. Hiller started out in 1932. Hiller started out in 1932. When he started out, he took the home from on the Jew. We're gonna tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down someday. We're gonna bring him to the ground. We're gonna bring him to the ground. We're gonna bring him to the ground someday. When Hitler started out, he took the Jews from their home. Hitler started out, took the Jews from their home. That's one thing, Miss Hitler, you know you done wrong. We're gonna tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down someday. We're gonna bring him to the ground. We're gonna bring him to the ground. We're gonna bring him to the ground someday. You ain't no iron, you ain't no solid rock. You ain't no iron, you ain't no solid rock. No, you ain't.
Hello there, hello there, hello there, everybody. How the devil are we all? To the person wondering in chat who was making those images on the thing, that's mostly me, to be honest. I think one or two of them might have been made by 255 AD, a regular, a resident mentaloid, but mostly me. I don't waste my afternoons. On a bit of a health kick at the minute. So, no fizzy cola beverages, a bit more apple juice and water type stuff. Yeah. I'm never going to be like, you know, a ripped gym bro or anything like that, but I can get in a little bit of shape because this is, honestly, is a bit too much. I winter a little too well. Let's put it that way. Well, I guess I have to quit smoking, so yay us. Well, I mean, you should quit smoking, and I don't at all wish to dissuade you, but why do you have to do so? Please don't tell me you've been diagnosed with something absolutely abysmal. That would be terrible. I don't need this. Get on the Monjaro, Kev. What the fuck is that? Thank you, Dingus, for the streak. Incorrect. I have quit. Oh, sorry. Okay, I misread that. Sorry, Lord Fritos. I nearly called you Mr. Fritos, which of course would be a downgrade from your respectable title of Lord. I apologise, Your Honour. So how many of those people in the Question Time audience had good opinions on migration have been sacrificed to Dover Wicker Man? Probably all of them, I imagine. They will never be found of again. I don't think we'll ever hear from them. They're gone now. R.I.P. Anyway, chat. Have I got a show for you? Kind of. A little bit informational as well, and I'll be looking for some mutual aid for a working class community. What is this nonsense? Oh, that is a clip of me from... Is that from last night, possibly? I'm not sure. Let's have a cheeky little gander, shall we? That is not at all what I meant to have on the screen. Boom. Look at me. Double sexiness.
Obviously, we don't take as many asylum seekers as many other countries. Countries like Turkey take in so many more than us. Why do we keep on complaining that this is such a big issue?
Because we're a bunch of fucking whinging bastards. That's
true. Literally.
We're a nation obsessed with whining about fucking everything.
Race to the bottom, the country.
Yeah. We are a nation of whingers. This is true. I stand by that. Although, of course, I will be whinging later, so stick to that. Yes, I also have quit smoking and planning to stop January the 1st, but the kid we're going to be going for a month as an quitting aid. Fair enough, Specs Bean Farmer. Good on you. Good stuff. Yeah. Are you going to finger the England cricket team, Kev, since it's dead? It's not dead, it's just dying. Yeah, no, it didn't go well, did it? Oh, they're fucking pathetic. Oh, and Pat Cummins hasn't even come back into the fucking Aussie team yet. Oh. Yeah, no, we're going to lose badly. Going to lose very, very badly. Again. Let's hope we can at least avoid the innings defeat, though. That would be nice. Anyway. Whitewash, not impossible. Not impossible. The frailty of the England batting lineup and the toothlessness of its bowling attack is it's not a good combination. And also they keep dropping catches, so they can't fucking field either. So they've got all three bases covered. It's just they're covered with shit. As you do. What's this? Oh, Damo. Okay, we'll have a look.
The EBU's stubbornness has been framed as principle, but it's really fear of picking the wrong side in a conflict where the public mood is shifting faster than the institution can manage. And instead of adjusting, instead of recognising the pressure, the EBU has insisted the problem simply doesn't exist. You can see how unstable that makes the whole structure, can't you? Because once legitimacy breaks, once broadcast...
Okay, I mean, I don't quite know what the relevance of that was, but yes, thank you. All I'll say is the Kev was ahead of the curve. I've been calling for people to boycott the Eurovision Song Contest because of Israel for years now. So each goal in the World Cup is going to equal 3 points now. Is what? No, it isn't, Dingus. Don't be silly. Don't be silly. Okay. Oh, you gave me in the middle of the thing. Okay. Why have I been distracted earlier?
Eurovision has finally hit the point where the organisers can't keep up the pretense anymore. Because when Spain, Ireland, the Netherlands and Slovenia all walk rather than share a stage with Israel, it tells you the whole neutrality myth has rotted through. The European Broadcasting Union, the EBU, is still trying to sell the idea that this isn't political. Which is quite something when the public can watch Gaza being levelled in real time.
Okay, but like, this is the thing. If it's not political, why did you ban Russia then? Why did you ban Russia and Belarus? That seems like it's politics. It seems like you might be playing politics there. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Russia and Belarus should have been kicked out. They were doing a war in Europe. Not a good thing. Not a thing that wants you to sort of welcome them into the family of European nations for a nice little silly singing competition. So I'm happy with them being banned. But if you're going to ban them, you should also ban Israel. Because they're doing significantly worse. And they're not even fucking from Europe anyway. Also, why did we invite Australia in? They're already beating us at the cricket. Can we not have them beat us at fucking singing as well? Please. For the love of God. And they're super not in Europe.
And then watch the EBU act like participation is just a technical matter. And the funniest part is that Guinness World Records, of all things, has shown more awareness of the moment by quietly freezing submissions from Israel and the Palestinian territories, because even the people who count the world's tallest dog know when a situation is too toxic to pretend otherwise.
What a phrase! Oh, what a phrase! The people who count the world's tallest dog. Good lad. Good lad. Oh. Oh. cheeky chapo. Anyway, I'm not watching this fucking video, okay? I'm not doing it. Right, we're going to do shilling first, and then we'll get on to the actual content I had planned. Everyone go and follow Damo, who's fucking awesome. Anyway. Can Brazil be in Eurovision? Yeah, fuck it, why not? If Australia can, I have no idea why Brazil couldn't. Although I do have to check. Is Brazil a nation known for wanting to engage in public acts of singing and dancing in absurd costumes for the kind of amusement of everybody? Is that a thing that Brazil does at all? Because if not, they're going to struggle in Eurovision, I think. But, you know, that's a joke. Anyway, yes. If you want to fund my amazingly in-depth sense of humour, you can do so in the form of bits and subscriptions, memberships, all of that shit. Get Vatican City. Can Vatican City be in the World Cup? In theory, they could become a proper nation in football, in theory, because they are a nation state, as designated by the United Nations. But they don't have a team. They don't have a team. At least in part because they don't really have like a permanent residence as such. Like the Pope lives there, but he's not really from there. And all of the people who work there don't really live there. So who would even qualify for the Vatican City? Like, would the Pope? He's from Argentina. On what basis would he qualify for the Vatican City? I don't know. The Pope would be goalie because he's really good at crosses. Yeah, we've all heard the fucking joke. What is this? Hazard awareness. A driver's behaviour has upset you. How can you get over the incident safely? Stop and take a break. Shout abusive language. Gesture at them with your hand. Follow them flashing your headlights. Why isn't all four an option? Why? That's what I want to know. All of those are acceptable. I mean, one of the options wasn't chase them down, pull them out of their car and beat them to death with a car jack. But, you know. Obviously that would be a bad thing. You shouldn't do that. I'd put the Pope on the left wing. Total wokey. True. True. The new. Oh, sorry. Oh, God, that Pope is dead. Yes, sorry. No, it's Bob from Chicago. Yes, apologies. Yeah, my bad.
The melt.
Yeah, I got some new sounds. You'll fucking see. Right. Yes, okay, let's do the chilling for real. Right. So if you're on twitch.tv/KFLogan1875, you can hit the follow button. You can subscribe. You can subscribe with you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. You can give subs to the community. You can do bits messages. 200 bitty bits or more get you a text to speech. You've got super chats available via the Streamlabs link below. $2 or more there gets you a text to speech. I've got Patreon and PayPal you can help me out on, either monthly or singularly, on a one-off basis and all that sort of thing. A one-time basis, you know what I mean. Anyway, Discord. I've got a Discord you can go and check out. I've got YouTube, Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads. If you're on YouTube, hello YouTube. You can subscribe. You can thumb the video up. You can ring the bell icon to get notifications of when I go live or some shite. You can become a member for 99p and gift memberships at that exact same price. You can do super chats and super stickers and stick your finger up my super arsehole. Thank you very much. So, Chatterinos. How are we all? J.D. Vance killed the old Pope. He did kill the old Pope. Oh, memes. Right. Football will be happening at some point in the not too distant future. Boom. England are there. Scotland are there. Maybe Wales, Northern Ireland. One of the two will be there, maybe, hopefully. Unfortunately, not both of them because they're in the same little qualifying bit. Anyway, and hopefully the Republic of Ireland as well. But we'll wait and see. Either way, it is being held in CUM. That being Canada, United States, Mexico. The CUM World Cup, if you will. Are those alerts going to go off? Or not? I don't know.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Thank you, Gennaro. Appropriate that you would pipe up when we're talking about football. I will just turn those noises off. Thank you, Ride Feather, for 5 gifted memberships on the YouTubes. What's up? Etc. Anyway, so the World Cup is happening. The draw was yesterday for the main competition. I was streaming, so I didn't watch it live, but I watched it back since. And in terms of who the different countries have got, like, who gives a fuck at this point? It's like England got an okay group, Scotland got not a great group, but like, what are you expecting exactly? America got a crazy easy group, really, but like, that can happen. That's just the way it goes. That's the way it goes with seeding, whatever. Either way, that is not what I'm here to talk about. What I am here to talk about is the fact that FIFA as an organisation are literally disgusting. Like, Gianni Infantino, I think he's the president of FIFA. I think he must have a humiliation kink. He must do. Because there's no need to butter Trump up like this. You've already got the World Cup. You've already got him on side. This must just be like a submissive, like, daddy king thing, right?
Please welcome the very first winner of the FIFA Peace Prize, the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Please.
Why? Why? Why is he there?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, this is your prize. This is your Peace Prize. There is also a beautiful medal for you that you can wear everywhere you want to go. Right now. Okay.
And he puts it on himself.
Fantastic.
He literally awarded himself the thing. Pathetic. Also, look at that thinning. That wig is really bad. I mean, just tragic shit. Although it has to be said, when he gave this... look, I don't like Trump, but when he's right, he's right.
When you look at what has happened to football in the United States, again, soccer in the United States, we seem to never call it that because we have a little bit of a conflict with another thing that's called football. But when you think about it, shouldn't it really be called? I mean, this is football. There's no question about it. We have to come up with another name for the NFL stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
It really doesn't make sense when you think about it. It is really football.
He's right. You can't knock him, chat. You can't knock him for that. That's absolutely bang on. American football is hand egg. They virtually never use their fucking feet. In football, you use your fucking feet to kick the ball. Football. The stopped clock being right twice a day and all that bollocks. Right. And then, again, this is just a humiliation kink. It must be. It must be.
The FIFA Peace Prize is presented annually on behalf of the billions of football-loving people from around the world to a distinguished individual who exemplifies an unwavering commitment to advancing peace and unity throughout the world.
A man who has been engaged in several genocides, including the one in Gaza, and is literally lining up to invade Venezuela right now. What the fuck? Also, you just made this up. The FIFA Peace Prize isn't a thing. You just invented it. It isn't real. I'd be surprised if it ever gets given out again. It's a joke. It's embarrassing. FIFA are a fucking joke. A clown show. Absolute fucking losers.
Right-wing bollocks.
Why is FIFA doing this? I genuinely don't know.
Through their notable leadership and action. And therefore, FIFA, the Fédération Internationale de Football Association,
French.
awards the 2025 FIFA Peace Prize. Football unites the world to Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, in recognition of his exceptional and extraordinary actions to promote peace and unity around the world.
What the fuck are you talking about, you mad cunt? Nobody believes this at all. Yeah, exactly. Get Bibi next. Then maybe resurrect Hitler and give him a fucking peace prize as well. What are you talking about? Fucking hell. You know what FIFA are?
A bunch of fascist slags.
Oh, I'm going to get some fucking use out of these bad boys. Oh.
Friday, December 5th, 2025. This is the certificate. It's yours. Before giving you the floor, Mr. President, if I may say 2 words.
Please, Daddy! Because those are the 2 words, you understand. Yeah. Oh, also the person who asked, what does soccer even mean? I know that. It's an old posh English thing, naturally. There's a difference between association football and rugby football. Rugby football is hand egg, but you can't throw it forwards. So it's like American football, but you can't throw it forwards. Kind of. Anyway, and that became known as rugger, as in rugby football, and then just at the end to shorten, because it's a shortened version of it. Right? And so soccer became association, the SOC, sock, from association, was soccer. So it's an old English posh thing that Americans decided we'll just use that because we already call a thing football. Yeah. Rugger does sound like a slur, and it is with a hard R. So yeah. Anyway, so that's where that comes from. Anyway, enough of this bollocks. Enough of this absolute shite. I want to introduce you to... Oh, hang on. Where's the Facebook group thing gone? Oh, for fuck's sake, Kev. Suck all of my fucking cocks. There we go. Right. I told you on Wednesday, I think it was, that I attended a meeting. A local politics type... Hang on, what is this? Okay, we'll do this and then I'll get onto the serious thing, okay? Yes. Yeah. Let's just get that out of your system for a second, everybody. So, on Wednesday I told you about a meeting I attended, a local politics meeting, in a place called Druids Heath. Now, Druids Heath is an area of Birmingham, South Birmingham, where I grew up. It is an outer ring council estate, which I grew up on, and means a great deal to me. And it is being earmarked for what's called regeneration. It's not regeneration at all. It's gentrification. They are going to try and knock down thousands of houses and replace them with posh people houses. Houses that no one who currently lives there can possibly afford. That's what's happening here. And a Labour council are the one forcing this through. It's fucking disgusting. Here is the actual plan itself. There's the outline. All of the houses in red, inside the red line there, will be destroyed. Completely. Council tenants will just be kicked out into the ever-dwindling number of council properties that exist. The quote-unquote affordable housing, which isn't affordable at all, will be only 1/3, actually slightly less than 1/3 of the current affordable housing, which is vaguely affordable. This is essentially purification, social purification is what they're trying to do here. The same Labour Council that is in dispute with the bin workers, yes. Now, this plan might not go ahead at some point because ultimately they don't actually currently have the funding for all of the different phases involved. Because this council are shit. Dog shit. And because all of the people, because the regeneration of this area the regeneration, the gentrification, the knocking down of houses. The council have not been investing anything in this. There are tower blocks that have been completely depopulated. They've been removed. People have been removed from them, and are just sitting, being graffitied and used by drug users and homeless people and things like that. They're a fucking eyesore. They've been graffitied to fuck. They are. It looks like something from a post-Soviet town. The council have completely and utterly abandoned the people of this area. The people themselves, naturally, don't want to invest money in the upkeep of their houses, knowing full well that those houses are about to be torn down. So the area is just going to shit. Now, social cleansing, that is the word I was looking for, thank you. I didn't want to say ethnic cleansing, because Druid's heathen is not an ethnicity, but you get the idea. Yes, so the council want to do this at great expense through private companies. Of course, there will be no council housing, as far as we're aware, built at all. There will be 400 affordable residences, which aren't affordable, because literally the amount of money that homeowners in the area are going to be given for their houses will amount to about half of what the cost of the new houses will be. So they're not affordable. No one who currently lives there will be able to afford to live there afterward. This is just social cleansing. Maybe clarify, you don't think they're an eyesore because homeless people are squatting there? Well, no, but they're clearly like... it doesn't make the area more appealing. The fact that people are going to these places to take drugs and homeless people are sometimes squatting there and they've been graffitied. It's not that the homeless people are themselves a problem, because they're people. It's the fact that they're being drawn there because of the fact that it's been abandoned and left. These places have been left there for years now. They've been completely empty for like 10 years and they're just stood there because it's cheaper for the council to just maintain the structural integrity of them whilst doing nothing about it than it is to pull them down. Again, they're just allowing the area to fucking rot and fester. And of course, for the homeowners of the area, because of all of this degradation, it means that the property prices are dropping. So when it comes round for the council to try and do the forced sale of the area, those houses will be worth even less than they're currently worth. So rather than investing any of this money into keeping the area in a decent state, they're just going to try and destroy it. And as all of these gentrification processes go, it doesn't get rid of poverty. Those poor people will still exist. They'll just be scattered into different areas. And you'll have destroyed any social cohesion and community that existed in these areas. This is a working class community being fucking destroyed. Because the council are too lazy, too stupid, too incompetent to do anything correctly. The Labour Party needs to be destroyed. It's over. It's fucking over. But the fight for these people is not over. And this is where I ask you for your help. This is the Druids Heath and Moneyhall Forum, who are currently fundraising. They're trying to get to a goal of £3,000 initially, although that may be raised to £10,000 at some point in the future, to go to a judicial review. They want to take this to the High Court, hopefully, or maybe, depending on whether the council are okay with it. Either way, they need your help. And so I'm going to be posting a link in both the Twitch and YouTube for people to, if you wanted to go and donate, to try and help, like I say, a working class community. What? Hang on. Why won't it let me post the fucking link in the YouTube? It won't let me do it in the YouTube for some fucking reason. Give me a second. No, it won't let me do it on the YouTube. No Justice, do you... Not No Justice, fuck's sake. Why Would a Story? Do you know how to do that? Can you get that link into the YouTube? Because I don't know how to do it. It's saying it's too long a message, but I don't know how to... Yeah, it is too long. Make it shorter through... What is this? I don't know what this is. What is Tiny Earl? Tiny URL, I guess. Shorten the link. Okay. Boom. Okay. Hopefully this now works. Does that work? Fuck yes! Thank you to whoever suggested that. Who suggested that? Thank you, the Anglo-punk. Tiny Earl does sound whimsical as fuck. Sounds like a kid's show. Thank you, Niall1797, for resubscribing for 15 months. Much love! I'm doing singing now. Anyway, so this is the first time I'll be sort of raising this. I'm going to be trying to get Navarra and Turn Left and whoever else, whatever tiny little fucking connections I have in the media landscape to try and make this a thing. Because ultimately the council need to be shamed into not doing this, or into vastly changing the plan. Because as it currently stands, this is just social displacement. This is cleansing. This is fucking evil. And so at the very least I'm going to make this very, very painful for the council, in a metaphorical sense. I'm not going to fucking I'm not a terrorist. I mean, like, I'm going to make sure they feel the force of the people of the area and all the rest of it. So boom. Turn Left will definitely do it. Well, thank you, Michael. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, so that's that. Like I say, this is the first time, and most assuredly not the last time you'll be hearing about that particular topic as we go forward. But thank you for everybody if you are generous enough to, and indeed able to, because of course, look, the area I'm talking about is deprived. It's legally defined as a deprived area. And I understand that a lot of other people don't have a lot of money. If you can't afford to give, that's fine. Share it around on your Facebook and your Twitter and Bebo and Instagram and all that shite, right? And hopefully some light can be shone into an area of darkness. Anyway. Also, I've just realised a little rumbly in the tumbly means I need to go for a poo. We do have slop incoming though, yes. But what I'm going to do is leave you with some... Should we go with cute cats? We haven't had cute cats in a while. Yes. We're having cute cats. Let's go. Wagwan! How are we all? Are we well? By the way, if you are able to give money to that particular GoFundMe raisey money thing for the legal challenge, by all means, you can name drop me if you want to. Of course, you don't have to, but you can if you wanted to. That was a fast dump, Kev. Well, I knew I had people waiting. Thank you. Anyway. Did you have a power dump? Jesus Christ. Why have you got to make it weird, chat? Why? Talking of making it weird, loaner box. Hey.
Get the fuck, Nick, I'm not playing with all these mutants. Get.
Thank you, Mad Cat Scotty, for raiding in. Hello there, Mad Cats. Everyone go and follow Mad Cat Scotty / Katie Marshall on the 2 platforms. Yes. Did we not pin the thing? Hang on a minute. How do I pin the comment? Pin. There you go. Boom. Pinned. The fundraiser has been pinned. You have no reason not to have seen it. Anyway, from the very serious topic of working class communities being destroyed on the altar of Birmingham City Council's fucking stupidity and hubris, to slop based around genocide. Yeah.
Hi. Hey, how's it going, Letterbox?
Oh, fine. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Alrighty, so let's just cut right to brass tacks. From what I know of you, you do pretty good work. I know that you're pro-trans, mostly progressive. We agree on most things, I would imagine. So I do have a lot of respect for you and the work that you do, and I think that most of it's good. So I want to go into this discussion understanding that it's going to be... I'm coming from as good faith a place as possible. I'm just trying to figure out where you're coming from with specifically, I guess, the thing that I called you out for. So with that in mind, I did go over the context with my audience already. I have trouble streaming on Discord at the same time that I live stream just because my computer sucks, but I don't know if you need to go over that with your audience or anything, or do they already know?
No, they'll know. They're fine.
Okay, cool. So it was a tweet from Stardust about you, and my understanding is the context is Hassan Piker was talking about Arab judges in Israel, right? Like there are Arab judges that exist in Israel, correct?
Yeah, but he wasn't talking about that. That was an example I brought up.
That's an example you brought up. Okay, got it. So Hassan Piker was talking, I know for a fact that he was talking about Jews in the command structure of Nazi Germany, correct? Okay, and where did that come from?
He was talking about the rise of fascism and particularly Reform UK, the British anti-immigration party, and they were trying to pose to hit, and I think he described them as like palingenetic ultranationalism, which is not really what Reform UK are, but in any case,
Yeah, that's a bit unfair. You know what they are, though, lads.
A bunch of fascist slags.
Was likening them to fascists and Nazis, and their argument back to him was, if their main focus is Islam, how did they have a Muslim chairman? And then Hassan's response was, doesn't matter, there were Jews in the Nazi, I think his exact words were, government command structure. And then I thought that was silly, and he was also just spending like most of that conversation equivocating on like Nazi liberal history, which is just something I've had an issue with for a while.
Who exactly was he likening to fascists and Nazis? I missed that part.
Reform UK. You know the party in the UK that Nigel Farage leads? I don't know if you know UK that well.
I do not know UK that well. You'll have to educate me a little bit. I'm sorry.
They're like...
fucking Americans, man.
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
Okay, right-wing, very free market, very anti-immigration party.
Bollocks.
Most of their campaign is drummed up off of fear-mongering about small boats, and they are possibly, quite likely, set to win the next election for the first time. They were also behind Brexit, us leaving the European Union. Same people.
Okay, so they were behind Brexit. Got it. Okay. So he was talking about them and likening them to fascists and Nazis, and you disagree with that characterization, correct?
I don't mind likening them to fascists. I just thought him trying to invoke the Nazi comparison was just not very helpful because Nazi policy on Jews from the very beginning, even before they had power, was very different to how Reform has policy on any race or group like Muslims.
Interesting. So I completely understood this. I thought this was about Israel and Palestine. My mistake. Okay. So
I can do that too if you want.
Yeah, if you want. It's it's all good. Okay. So you didn't like the comparison then, but in my opinion, right, from what I've seen, what he said wasn't wrong. Like there were Jews in the Nazi command structure, were there not?
So there were like maybe just under 24 of them with either Jewish mothers or like one Jewish grandparent in some cases who were in the...
And it always not annoyed me, but confused me that Alfred Rosenberg, right, now when you hear the name Alfred Rosenberg, chat, what do you think that person's ethnic or religious background would be? His name was Alfred Rosenberg. Come on, chat. South American. No, that was after the war. A lot of them became South American because no Nazis. Yeah, no, it's a very Jewish name. Like it's a ludicrously, almost sarcastically Jewish name. Anyway, he wasn't Jewish. He was actually one of the quote-unquote intellectual architects of Nazism. He was the kind of theoretician of the Nazi Party. A very high up, very powerful, very influential person in the Nazi Party for the entirety of the war. And his name was fucking Rosenberg. And at no point did anyone go, hey, you're called Rosenberg? Right. Okay. Okay, dude. Cool.
Military. In terms of government, I tend to see government and military as kind of separate. Like if I'm reading in the press and I see a government source said this, I'm probably not assuming that person's a general. And the people we're talking about in the Nazi military who would have passed the Mischlinge Nazi definition of Jew because of them having Jewish ancestry, however...
Yeah, the half Jew. That's literally what it was, the Mischlinge. They're essentially partially Jewish. They had weird fucking tables drawn up of like the degree to which a person was Jewish based on like if they had one parent or one grandparent, and it's fucking rubbish. Aww. Aww. Salutes in chat for everyone for Rusty. Absolute queen. Every night my mum puts Rusty to bed in his room, king. And every night he moves to the living room sofa when she's going to bed herself. Legend. Papa legend. Love it.
Loose was usually a cause for concern. Some people, you were more likely than not just kicked out for that, and they eventually did purge all of them from or as many as possible from the Wehrmacht. And as far as the generals go, these people only existed in the military insofar as the Nazi government was willing to make very special exemptions for them. Literally, Hermann Goering's quote was, he didn't say, I think these Jews can stay in the military. He said, I will decide who is a Jew in the military, as in we're just going to call them Aryans and just forget about it. Because these people were not raised Jewish. I think some of them didn't even know they were Jewish, so it was discovered later. Some of them lied. The ones who told the truth were just Jewish, like basically only in name. Their parents didn't see themselves as Jews. They didn't see themselves as Jews. Some people had conversions from their family even before they joined the party. Yeah, I think likening that to Forum UK's structure is just like ridiculous.
Okay, so
yes and no. The general point, and by the way, I don't think the Reform Party are like the Nazi Party. For a start, they're not as stylish as to get Hugo Boss in to design things. I'm joking. But Hugo Boss did design that shit, so they can't sue me, dickheads. The point I think that Hassan and a lot of other people make when they bring this up is, yes, the co-option of certain members of the hated group into the structure because they're useful, at least for a time, is a thing that all extremist groups have done in one form or another. especially on their ascent to power. It's very useful to have a human shield, dare I say. A human shield, you know, to hide the fact that you're, you know, hideously bigoted. For instance, at the 1936 Berlin Olympics, there was a lot of chatter about certain countries maybe pulling out of the Olympics if the German team did racial profiling of its athletes. So basically, were they going to allow Jewish athletes of German nationality to compete for Germany on a fair basis as everybody else? Now, that didn't quite happen, but what they did choose is one very, very shit Jewish athlete. And when I say shit, I mean he wasn't very good at his sport, because they didn't want him winning. The last thing they wanted was a German Jew winning like a gold medal for Germany, in Germany, in front of the world. That would have been terrible for the Nazis. So they chose someone who definitely wasn't going to win, but they put one token Jew in the German team to placate international feelings on the matter. They co-opted a member of the hated group because it suited their political purposes at the time. This is a thing that the Nazis did. It is a thing that Reform UK are currently doing. That is the connection there. It's not even to say they're like the Nazis. It's saying they use some of the same tactics because they have some of the same politics.
There are Arabs in Reform UK structure, even though it is fundamentally anti-Arab, right?
Like their party
that's-
chairman was a Muslim, yeah.
Party chairman was a Muslim. Okay, I see. So Reform UK was Muslim. So basically what you're trying to...
They were extremely pissed off, yes, when Jesse Owens won those medals. Hitler refused to shake his hand. It was traditional that the head of state would shake the hand of the 100-yard dash, I believe it was at the time, 100 metres, the kind of premier event of the Olympics. And the head of state would go up and give the medal and, you know, shake them by the hand. Hitler did not want to be seen shaking hands with a black man. And as always, I think it's worth telling the story. Regular viewers will have heard this before, but I think it puts it into a good context. Jesse Owens, one of the greatest sports people that's ever existed. Not just because he won 4 gold medals at one Olympics, which in and of itself is pretty outstanding, especially for a non-swimmer. In swimming, it's a bit different because there are millions of events anyway. Let's not get bogged down in that. Clearly a superb athlete, but superb in a way that transcends sport. Because you go to a racially supremacist nation, because the IOC are racist cunts who gave the Olympics to the fucking Nazis, and you essentially flex on them. You go on to their stadium in their capital and you win 4 gold medals. It's fucking beautiful. Now you would think such a great example of humanity in the face of inhumanity would be welcomed at home. It was not. Because the dinner that was given in Jesse Owens' honour at New York's Radio City Hall, still there, because Jesse Owens was a black man and this was the era of the Jim Crow laws, had to take the freight elevator along with the trays of food up to the ballroom at the top of the building because he was not allowed as a black man to enter the lift for human beings. Genuinely heartbreaking stuff. Also, he spent the last few years of his life racing against horses to try and earn any amount of money, because they were all amateurs at the time. You had to be at the Olympics. You literally couldn't be a professional. And it said he was asked by a journalist.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
He was not asked that.
The Battle of Century, Bald Man versus Zionist.
We'll get to it. I'm in the middle of a very touching bit about Jesse Owens, if you don't mind. Thank you. He was asked by a journalist, isn't it unbecoming for a 4-time Olympic gold medalist to race against horses? And like at these events, he would be given a certain head start and race over a distance, and people could bet on it. That's and that's how he'd make his money. And he said, "Yeah, I've got 4 gold medals, but I can't feed my children gold medals." Genuinely awful stuff. Thank you to Ash Kitty, who says, Battle of the Century, bald man versus Zionist. True. Very true.
To say is, I feel like you're both correct here. Because I feel like what Hassan's trying to say, if you're being charitable, is there were Jews who helped lead Nazi Germany to its conclusion, or to its highest point, right?
And 255 needs a sub, apparently.
And there are people within a Islamophobic structure who are Muslim who are helping lead that group of people to its highest point, even including Islamophobia, right? Like, all he's trying to get at is there are people in the structure who, I guess for lack of better terms, are traitors, right, to their group of people. And what you're trying to say is, well, there weren't anybody in Nazi Germany who was nearly as high up as the party chairman is right now. Is that what you're trying to say?
You're not even close, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it just seems like there was, like, from what I was looking at, it just seemed like you were being pretty uncharitable to Hassan. Because I see what he's trying to say, don't you?
I see what he's trying to say, and if it were just that in isolation, then I probably wouldn't have had much of an issue with it. And again, that wasn't my clip to publish, that was someone else's. As far as the overall issue was, though, in the context of that conversation, was Hassan doing something that I think he and quite a lot of people who are far left do, is basically manipulating or exaggerating or lying or misleading about history, especially around fascism and Nazis, to get their own way politically in the present day. And I think in the context of him doing that, I think he constantly, him and many others will constantly just either downplay, however accidentally, or will just massage facts about the past to serve themselves in the present. And I can give you examples if you want, but he was...
Wow, a Zionist decrying the misuse of history for political ends.
Doing that throughout the whole conversation. So as soon as he reached the point of saying that there were Jews in the Nazi government command structure, I was just like, okay, that was just where the outburst took place.
Right, but on its face, what he's saying is true. So I guess, like...
The notepad is Alex Gunter, the bald lad.
Okay, so he's manipulating, lying, deceiving about fascism and Nazis to get his own way politically, right? So what is that way that you're speaking of? Like, what is it that he wants?
Well, to be clear, just to be clear, in no other time are people going to consider a general who's being given special exemptions from the government as part of the government. Like, I don't think people never do this. Like, would you, if you were reading the press and you saw a government official said X, are you thinking this might be like a general or an officer?
Not necessarily, just a government official. Like, if it says a government official,
yeah.
Like, it could be anybody from a mayor to the president.
Yeah, usually it's the political head, and that's why I think the distinction matters, because these military people only got to stay in their roles through exemptions that were granted by government. Couldn't happen the other way around. They couldn't exempt themselves.
I just feel like that's getting into the weeds a little bit, because the point that Hassan's driving at is you can be Arab in an anti-Arab structure, right? And I agree with that.
Yeah, I get
Do
that
you agree
point.
with that?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. If you just, and again, if that was the overall community, like, I'm not having an issue with the overall point there. That was just, like I said, in the broader context of him and other people like him in general, just like contorting the facts of history to prove their points. It was just kind of annoying.
But what was he contorting? Because I don't see him contorting anything. Like, what he said was factually correct.
First of all, it wasn't factually correct, and you can even look at his stream afterwards.
You literally just pointed out that there were members of the German armed forces who were Jewish. So, like, it is factually correct. What? Who is Lonerbox? Lonerbox is an annoying character because he used to do really good content. When he first started out, he was doing good, like, video essay stuff from a leftist kind of perspective. And then, for whatever reason, he became a Destiny orbiter. To the point where he went with Destiny to Israel on a trip paid for by, who knows? Paid for by
a bunch of fascist slags.
Probably. So yeah, he's just a Zionist piece of shit now, who hates all the same people that Destiny hates, because obviously.
Words when he was defending this point, he didn't even seem to know about these like 3 generals, because everyone else below them was like officers or maybe like 1 admiral. He didn't even seem to know. When he was defending his point on his stream, he was off the top of his head coming up with examples before people started sending him links, and the only example he could come off before people gave him links was capos. Would you say capos are part of government command structure? Is
What are
that even
capos again?
humorable? Capos were Jews who, usually Jews, who would either be coerced into giving up other Jews and like disclosing where they were hiding, or being in charge of concentration camps, like being guards
So
and
they're-
stuff like that.
So they were traitors.
Yeah, or sometimes, well, I mean, I don't know how much you can call you a traitor if you're being forced to do it for fear of death, but yeah.
Sure, but
some of them
the
were
point
traitors,
is,
some of them I think were coerced. Yeah.
They gave up, like, they were Jews who gave up other Jews for whatever reason. So,
yeah.
So your question then to me is, would I call capos part of the command structure? I think you technically could. Like, they were part of the system through which Nazi Germany accomplished its goals, correct?
That is not part of the government command structure. Like,
They were
someone who's not
grunts.
even in the military, or they're not even grunts. They're not even. They
were
were
forced
closer
grunts.
to slaves. Are slaves part of the slavery command structure? Like,
Well, if you you ever heard of a house slave? You know what a house slave is, right?
yeah, I don't think a house slave is part of the slavery command structure.
They
No.
absolutely could be.
Yeah, they would often use black gangermen to rule over the other blacks on their behalf, and would give them special privileges for doing so.
Because if you have a house slave and you put them in charge of other slaves, they have now become part of the command structure.
Okay. I suppose if we're. Okay, no.
Yeah, Django Unchained. Yeah, the Samuel L. Jackson character in Django Unchained is the perfect example of that. Yeah, he's absolutely a part of that structure. Fuck, he's more of a part of the structure than some of the white people in that fucking situation. No, Django Unchained was an extreme situation. It is a movie made by Quentin Tarantino, so you know it's going to have the N-word in it, obviously.
I'm trying not to be cheeky, but yeah, if we're changing the meanings of all the words, and especially given that he's saying this in response to being told about the chairman of a party.
Okay, I understand what you're getting at, and I understand your problem. It just feels like you could have communicated this in a less aggressive way. Like, it just feels like there's something personal that you have against a son. That's what I'm getting from this.
I mean, he's triggering sometimes because he's full of shit, but yeah. I mean, yeah, sometimes I do that on stream. Yeah, sometimes I'll get a bit hyper. But like I said, the context of him doing that in that particular video, which is long, I don't blame you for not watching all of it, is this constant massaging of historical truths about fascism to try and sell a message that is just false. Like, that's kind of where I was coming from with him bringing.
Yeah, this is a bit Hassan derangement syndrome. It's not quite Ethan Klein levels, but it is bad.
That was just like the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of raising my.
Oh yeah, did you see Ethan Klein got fucking Caseytron to read out a fucking "I'm sorry" message in order to like stop the legal thing? He's such scum, Ethan Klein. Honest to fucking God, what a worthless human being.
Voice on a stream.
Sure. What's the message that he's trying to get across that you don't agree with? Like, if you already said it, I'm sorry. I'm just
okay.
trying
To put it I didn't. It's okay. To put it the most broadly, this idea that he was pushing throughout, which was that, you ever heard the phrase "scratch a liberal and a fascist bleeds"? This idea that liberals, and usually when they talk about it more specifically, this can even mean liberals to the point of social democrats, are basically willing to side with fascists to stop the fear of socialism, and it's like a trend. You know that whole sentiment?
Yes, and I largely think that that's true. I think that liberals often do side with fascism.
Is it true in, well, the example that was being given up there was in Germany. Do you think that was the case there? When I say liberal, I mean like social democrat liberal. I don't mean.
The Social Democrats didn't cover themselves in glory, let's say that. It's difficult, right? They definitely sided with conservatism because they were scared of socialism. If you look at the election of the president, when it was Hitler, oh god, what's his fucking name? Not Bismarck. Oh, fuck's sake, oh, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Paul von Hindenburg, thank you. There we go. So there was Paul von Hindenburg, what do you call it? Hitler, and Ernst Thälmann, the communist. And the Social Democrats and the Liberals went with Hindenburg in order to stop Hitler, which, you know, is understandable. But they did so also to stop the communist. So there's no doubt that there was some problems there. Gerd Müller was not in the 1925 German presidential runoff. No. Good player though, excellent player.
Like a liberal of 1900 who is like would easily be.
Okay, Gerd Müller, top 10 all time? Question mark.
Conservative today, not like that.
So you're asking me if we can fairly compare Jews during Nazi Germany who sided with the Nazis to liberals today who side with fascists?
Not necessarily Jews. It could be any. It could be Social Democrats, like center-left liberals.
No, Hindenburg did win, although it went to a runoff. Yeah, the communists stood and refused to stand down. All the other candidates stood down in order to stop Hitler and said, vote for Hindenburg to stop Hitler. But Hindenburg was a far-right piece of shit as well. He just wasn't a fascist. He didn't want outrightly racist, stuff, but he was still a racist. And was an old-school monarchist, and was one of the reasons they'd lost the fucking First World War, and ultimately ensconced Hitler as Chancellor, before then dying 8 months later. Thanks, Paul.
I think it gets a little bit more complicated. There's a lot of moving parts to that because there were people back then who were trying to self-preserve. Obviously I'm sure there were like self-hating Jews or self-hating gay people who were part of the command structure or like suppressed their gayness or, and with liberals, it's more about, I think, the capitalist incentive. Right, like they're trying to protect their.
Yeah, the German Social Democrats did bring in the Freikorps to destroy the Bavarian People's Republic and all of that. The old adage of, was it the Social Democrats killed Rosa Luxemburg, which there's a certain truth to that.
Their money interests, I guess. So it's different, but both of them are basically like foregoing certain progressive values in order to side with a fascist regime. I think that's kind of hard to wrap my head around, to be honest. So I'm not sure. I mean, I can see the comparison.
I would probably argue when it came to Nazis, I think the communists actually did more to help Nazis than the Social Democrats did.
Really?
Easily.
Oh,
yep.
The communists were one of the very few true opponents of the Nazis. And were, of course, its first victims. So for you to be out here shitting on them, you fucking middle-class little punts, when they were in the fucking streets battling for civilization, you little fucking genocidal freak, go fuck yourself.
100%.
Okay, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not a history buff, so I don't know. The only reason we're having this conversation is because I just felt like you were being a little unfair to Hassan, a little uncharitable. I guess I don't like I said, it just feels like you don't like Hassan. So like, what don't you like about him? Like it feels like what Hassan's project is to push for a more progressive society, like push closer to socialism, right? Is that?
See, this is the problem. When you have, no offense to Alex Gunter, because he seems like a nice guy whose heart's in the right place, but when you have uneducated people talking about these topics, you allow fucking wankers like Lonerbox to just spew that kind of shit. The communists did more to help the Nazis than the Social Democrats. What the fuck are you talking about? Who the fuck emboldened the Freikorps, who then became the fucking proto-brown shirts? What the fuck are you talking about?
That's something you want?
Socialism? And what? Meaning what? I feel like the definition changes depending on which socialist you're talking to.
Well, it's workers owning the means of production, basically.
Via what, like co-ops, the state?
Well, co-ops is how it starts, but it's basically just that if you are like, you don't rent out equipment to work, like, for people to work with anymore. Like, the workers, like, if you work at a restaurant, the workers all collectively own that restaurant, share the profits. Or share the income.
I'm in
They're
favor
like co-ops,
of,
yeah.
I'm in favor of worker co-ops developing at a rate that is feasible, like to a degree where, like, some policies that I would back would be something like right of first refusal for companies that need government assistance, and them offering the option for work.
Hindenburg's career went up in flames. That's who you've done that.
To,
I mean, it didn't, because he died in office, so it was fine. But you know,
take it over. Or,
it's a good joke.
Or like the Italian Marcora system, where people who are unemployed can lump sum their benefits with another group of people to start their own co-op, or just like preferential loans from governments. I believe in that kind of thing, and I'm also all for encouraging their growth, because I think it's a good way to do business. I don't necessarily follow people like Hassan when it becomes a slightly more vague notion, or like simping for the system in China and the CCP, or expecting this to happen through any kind of like through revolution or a forced change. I don't think that's particularly useful.
Sure, I'm not a proponent of revolution either. I don't think it's necessary. But, you know, I am on board with moving toward socialism and moving toward, like, worker-owned means of production. I just think...
Okay, you know what? I'm going to subscribe. I don't know who Alex Gunter is. No offence, Alex. But you seem like a good chap. I'll give you a cheeky little follow. Or subscribe, whatever.
That if, like, there's an inherent pushback between workers and bosses, right? Bosses try to get workers to work as much as possible.
That's
for as little
true,
money
Miss
as
Hire.
possible.
Yeah.
Workers try to work as little as possible for as much money as possible. There's an inherent conflict. And so what I would like to do, and what Hassan, I think, is trying to do as well, is break down that inherent conflict, because all it does is waste time and effort and money, right? And so if those two competing factions could just get over that difference of, like, trying to make more money for themselves at the expense of the other, then they could all make a lot more together. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of work environment that I would like to see evolve. And I think Hassan's pushing for the same thing.
Okay, first of all, if you're just talking about like a gradual development of these ways of doing business, that's fine. And they can have their own problems that emerge as well. Like if a co-op seems to get to any particular size, it seems that you run into an issue where they become quite similar to corporations, except that the class antagonism becomes more between workers and managers, and there becomes an alienation between the workers and the people who actually are in charge of general direction of the company. I can talk about like a bit more detail about Mondragon if you want, but no, I don't actually think that's what people like Hassan are pushing for. That's not the kind of that's not what I've seen for the last 2 years. I see a lot of historical inaccuracies and trying to sort of like massage and sanitize the history of the Soviet Union and of
Motherfucker, you've done nothing but do that for Israel for the last 18 months, 2 years, whatever. Come on, you must see the nonsense of what you're doing here, right?
China, and I also just see a lot of incoherent foreign policy around the Middle East, which has not much at all to do with socialism.
Don't check my blanket ethno state.
Well, I've seen Hassan criticize China before. So, like, he's
China.
not in love with the way China is currently. I think he's just trying to say there are things that China does better than the United States. One thing that I like that he brings up a lot is high-speed rail. You know, China has it, we don't. I think that China, in that respect, does better than the United States. I think that's true.
High-speed rail is, to be clear, probably the only example that he gives, right?
Fair. I'm not sure if I can think of another off the dome, but
yeah,
I think,
and again, they have a growing high-speed rail in Spain. There's a slightly smaller one in France. There's one in Japan. It's like I don't really know if that is worth all of the downsides of the system in China under the CCP. But no, I mean it's not just that, right? It's also fawning over getting Chairman Mao's little red book, and obviously, I don't know if.
You're such a fucking loser. You're such a briefcase loser.
The melt.
What, like, Hassan got Mao's red book and was like, oh, that's cool. So what? Like, fuck's sake. Yeah, this is DGG brain. Yeah, 100%. Just very sad to see, because he's not a stupid man, so he must know that he's fucking lying about so much, which is kind of gross.
If you follow much of the discourse around people going to different countries, but the irony of the fact that so many people accused me of doing a propaganda tour in Israel when I think
just because you literally did and filmed it and put it up on the internet like that was like a perfectly normal thing to do.
Like everything I saw from China was like the epitome of a propaganda tour, but I don't know how you feel about either of those.
What kind of world do you think Hassan Piker wants?
I don't think he knows. I think he wants a world where he has more money and clout. I don't think anything else really matters.
So in his mind,
and maybe
in his
one
heart
where
of
Israel's
hearts,
destroyed. By the by,
in his why? Let's go there. Let's go there because it's in my title, so we might as well. Why does he want Israel destroyed? Does he just like destruction?
No, it's because he doesn't know anything about the conflict, or he knows a bunch of things about the conflict that aren't true, and has this weird fantasy that somehow getting rid of Israel will be followed only by nothing other than a shared democracy between the two people in the region.
So he doesn't know anything about the conflict. I see him looking at stuff all the time about the conflict. I see him looking at videos from it. I see him looking at Benjamin Netanyahu's speeches. I see he looks at stuff all the time about Israel and Palestine, honestly, to a degree that I found it every time I would tune into him, he was looking at something new about Israel and Palestine. So it seems like he's educating himself quite a bit on it, don't you think?
That's what I said. You can knowing nothing versus you knowing a lot of things that aren't true. But I mean, if you've watched what he's watched,
I love that he went to Israel with a guy who, at the start of this war, didn't know anything about Israel. Literally to the point where there's that amazing clip, if someone's got it, of him looking at Recep Tayyip Erdogan and going, "Is Erdogan the president of Israel?" Where, of course, he's the Prime Minister of Turkey. Like, he was that ignorant. And yet they both went on a little tour to Israel and just did a cheeky little propaganda bit for the genociders. Yay! Thank you, Kimberly Diamond, for 38 months of Prime. Much love! If we get onto a hype train, I will finger my faith in humanity. Okay? Because it's dead. They went on a date, Kev. They did. They went on a schmoozy, romantic getaway to the edge of a genocide, which is nice.
watched, then I guess that would make you confident in talking about it, right?
Say that again.
If you've watched him learning on his stream enough, then would that make you fairly confident on talking about Israel Palestine?
I'm confident on talking about anything. If I don't know something, I'll just look it up. But
okay, okay, maybe just to streamline.
Okay. So this is the problem with the internet. Being able to look something up isn't enough. If I don't know something, I'll look it up. If you don't know anything about the Middle East conflict, it's going to take you a lot more than just a quick little Wikipedia skim to really nail down the facts there. Like, come on, man. We can do so much better than this. Read a fucking book, for the love of God.
in this. I can maybe give you like a couple of headings and you can choose
Sure.
which one you want to talk about, because we've kind of covered like 3 things now. One can be, I think it's a total myth to say that there's anything special about like liberals or social democrats to make them support fascists, and that I actually think communists did a lot more to help the Nazis than social democrats did. That's one.
One that's completely wrong.
2, we could talk about the CCP and Chinese communism and whether that's worth pursuing. And I guess 3 could be about whether or not destroying Israel is a good idea.
Let's talk about 3.
more
That's the one I got in my
Israel.
title,
Yeah?
so.
Okay.
Okay, so you think Hassan wants to destroy Israel. What do you think he means by that?
Probably some very vague allusion to the state dissolving and it becoming a South Africa-style democracy with Arabs and Jews living equally as equal citizens, and them both consenting to this.
Okay, so he wants the Israel state to dissolve, and he wants like the people who are being subjugated to have like equal rights and say over what happens in that society as the people who are not being subjugated, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying? Yeah. So I don't feel that I fail to see how that's a bad thing.
Does it bother you that neither side in that region wants this?
I think Palestinians do want that. They want to be seen as equal citizens.
Can you show me that?
Well, I think anybody would want.
This is the look. What's the point of talking to Hasbro freaks? Really, what is the fucking point? Because even really basic shit like that, like, oh, people sort of want to live generally in peace and just be treated equally. Can you show me that? Can you show me anywhere where they've said that? The fucking debate pervertry is off the charts.
That, like what they want essentially is to be able to live in their homes without being worried about being dragged out of them, right? Like, we've seen that happen. The IDF has done that, so I think that it is reasonable to not want that to happen to you. Right?
No, of course they don't want to they don't want to be physically or materially harmed. That's obvious, okay?
Right.
But as a popular lefty slogan goes, people don't just want peace, they also want justice. I have not seen any evidence.
Okay. And your contention is that they don't want justice or something? Or that justice is unjust or unjust?
That Palestinians think a one-state solution with equal rights for both groups is justice in their eyes, unless you can show me something different. As far as I know, the one-state solution with equal rights is actually the least popular solution for both groups.
Do you think that's what Hassan wants? A one-state solution with equal rights for both groups?
Yeah, and what I'm
Okay.
saying is that that's kind of problematic to want it when the Palestinians are the ones who don't seem to want it.
Shut the fuck up, you parasite.
Maybe that's a point of contention that he might have with Palestinians. I don't know. Right now, Palestinians are very angry and very hurt because, frankly, they're starving and children are being dismembered and dying. Like, in that situation...
No, that's anti-Semitism. You can't say that. That's anti-Semitism. Miss Rachel knows, okay?
I might also want vengeance or some kind of justice. Like, that's a pretty horrific scenario, don't you think?
Yeah, they've wanted that vengeance or justice before October 7th, obviously.
Sure.
Even before 48, they've kind of wanted. That's been the more popular thing, is that kind of justice. But yeah, again, but that's why I'm wondering, is it not a problem when one of the like big left-wing thought leaders, or the biggest in terms of streaming on this issue, is like pushing for a position that, as far as anything beyond just saying one state, two people, equal rights, there's not really any, as far as I've seen, any feasible blueprint for this. There's no Palestinian.
No, I don't see that as a particular problem because he's just a fucking streamer. What are you talking about? No, I don't think it's that important or worthwhile. Your obsession is just sad, actually. If there's one thing I've learned from watching Vash is that if you just look stuff up, you often end up lacking context that comes from proper research. Yeah, exactly, that's what I mean, yeah.
Popular major leader calling for this, and Palestinians, when they are...
How is he a leader? In what way is he a fucking leader? He's not a leader. He's a streamer.
Asked, they don't want it. I can show you, I can find a poll from 2024 where they're asked, and they're given all the options. They're given 2 states, 1 democratic state, or 1 undemocratic state, or 1 state without equal rights. And it seems to be that the democratic state is the least popular. The last poll I saw.
Wow. So in a situation where a country is bombing the fuck out of them, they weren't like super chill about the situation, and maybe gave a more extreme answer because of the massively extreme situation they found themselves in. This is fucking awful.
From it, got 8% in Palestinians. So I don't understand why you'd be pushing for something that they don't want.
Because he wants it. Because he sees that that is the solution. Even if, like let's put it this way. Palestinians in Palestine, trans and gay rights are not very good, right? Like, they don't really recognize, to say the least, they don't recognize gay marriage, at least. I've heard of stonings on the streets. I don't know the truth of that. But we can both agree, probably. Sure, we can both agree that trans and gay rights in Palestine is not great, right? So, that being the case, Hassan still wants trans and gay rights. Like, he even wants it in Palestine. So on that point, he might have some contention with a lot of the Palestinians. But ultimately, it's not necessarily about what any individual or group of Palestinians want. It's about what is going to be best for all parties involved. And Hassan thinks that that is with a one-state solution where they live in a democracy and everybody has equal say. One person, one vote, right?
Yeah, but the question is the difference between gay and trans rights and what the state solution should be is that the whole point about emancipation for any group, any national group or any oppressed group is about self-determination. So I think when it comes to trans rights and things like that, you can say that we can oppose them if they have their state and they don't give trans rights, but that's a question of that's their self-determination, which is what people advocate for. So if we're talking, but it's...
So what, we shouldn't give the Palestinian people a state because they might not be nice to certain groups? Like, loads of countries that are independent have anti-queer legislation in board. Do we also, what, genocide them too? What? This is fucking awful. What kind of argument is this?
Different when we're talking about one or two state solution, because that is a question of the very basis of their self-determination. But I don't know why you would go for a self-determination that they don't want. So what's the point in saying self-determination if you want...
No, they do want self-determination. What do you mean they don't want it? What, the Palestinian people don't want to determine their own government for themselves? Is that your actual contention, or was that a slip of the tongue?
Them to have the form of state that they don't want, to share the country with people they don't want to share it with, to live in borders that they don't see to want with the current government arrangements. Why any of that? That's the basis of the self-determination.
Well, let's start with this. Do you think that Israel should pull out of Palestine?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good start. So, like, you and Hassan agree on that,
probably
right?
for a very different, well, probably in a very different way that you or Hassan would say, yeah. Probably
But you
in a very
agree on
different,
that. You think that Israel... You think that Israel is invading Palestine and should pull out, correct?
Yeah, but I'm not going to, again, the word invading is probably going to be contentious, but...
What? Oh, for fuck's sake, it's so obvious you're being paid. It's so obvious. It's so obvious you've been given a script by some IOF cunts, or whatever fucking department of the evil, labyrinthine fucking Israeli state you get paid by. Oh, can we not use the word invading, please? Actually, I find that quite problematic.
The melt.
In terms of how and when and why, on what conditions they do that, we're going to disagree, yeah.
Fine,
I don't think they should do it, like, unilaterally.
But even when I bring...
Why not? They invaded unilaterally. Why wouldn't they pull out unilaterally?
Up something that you and Hassan agree on, you're so quick to jump to a disagreement. You're like, boom, you don't get it. Me and Hassan is different.
But that's because the disagreements are much more substantial than you seem to think they are.
But okay, you want good things, right?
Everyone wants what they think are good things. Yeah,
you're an enjoyer of things that you think are good, right? Right? Everybody is an enjoyer of things that they think are good, right?
Right, but he's being paid to claim that Israel destroying the people of Gaza is a good thing. So it's sort of pointless even talking to him. Because the thing that he will claim is a good thing, he and everyone else knows is not a good thing.
So, on that level, you agree with everybody. You all want good things. Everybody wants good things to happen. So I like to start, this is my new philosophy, I like to start there and work my way up to the most common ground that I can possibly reach with people and see if we can make things work from there. You and...
I think that's ultimately a fool's errand. I don't think there's any point doing that, really. Because I don't think if your interlocutor is being honest, I don't think you're going to get very far with that.
And Hassan both want Israel out of Palestine, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's great. So let's talk about the differences then. What does Hassan want Israel to do that you don't want Israel to do?
It sounds like, well, he wants Israel to leave unilaterally and to also dissolve their own government right after they've left and to make themselves equal citizens with Palestinians in the entire territory and to turn it into one country.
I think.
Do you think Hassan remotely thinks that that is going to happen anytime soon? Like, saying that's the end goal at some future point, maybe in 100 fucking years, is one thing. Do you think Hassan Piker is literally saying that the Israeli government should do that right now? As if that's remotely plausible? Because this is like DGG fucking brainworms gone to a new level. He has reached new levels of DGG degeneracy that I didn't think were possible.
I think they should be equal citizens. And I think it should be one country.
Okay.
Why not?
Why do you think... So one, why do you think... Let's try the obvious one. Why do you think Palestinians don't want that?
Well, because they see Israelis as like oppressors and they don't want to live with their oppressors.
Did Black South Africans say that? They had a leader who pushed...
Many people did, yeah. Yeah, that was a thing, actually.
For equal rights?
I don't know. I don't know much about South Africa. I mean, it's possible. Like people generally don't want to live with people that they perceive as oppressors, but Israeli citizens are just that. They're just citizens. You know, even if they believe in the Israeli project, I think the statistics is like 90-something% of them believe in the Israeli project, the Zionist project.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, they're still just citizens. Most of them aren't really doing anything wrong, right? They're just chilling. They're just living their lives. They don't want to hurt anybody. If they saw a Palestinian somewhere, they wouldn't like chuck rocks at them. They would just let it go, you know, like, and that's how most Israeli people are. And so, but Palestinians don't see it that way because they've been bombarded by Israel for a very long time. So there's a lot of deprogramming to do here on both sides, you know, but we should recognize that it is largely Israel that's at fault for this. I think that's important to recognize.
Okay, we can get into that if you want. There's a few different... There's like a crossroads. So if we're talking about why Palestinians don't want to have an equal state with equal rights for both groups across the whole territory, and Israelis don't want it, why does turning it into one state, what problem gets solved by that if neither of them want it?
Eventually, you just learn to coexist, right? Like, take cities, for instance, like just this city environment, like New York City. You know, you have people from all different backgrounds, all different...
I think you mean...
You really are the most devious bastard in New York City.
Shades, like just vibing and chilling together. You have Muslims living next to Jews. You have mosques next to temples, right? And they're fine and they get along for the most part. Now there is some conflict, but for the most part they coexist peacefully there. So integration.
Yeah, and then you have other countries where different ethnic groups are thrown together through imperial powers that didn't have their best interests at play. And in some cases that wasn't always the answer, though, was it? So with India and Pakistan, they didn't say, well, fuck this, let's just come together in one country. They partitioned, and then that was very violent. Some countries stayed together and tried to build a country, like Syria, and then they had a civil war that killed over 500,000 people. Lebanon has just been...
Yeah, imperialism is bad, so maybe Israel should stop fucking doing it.
A state of constant ebbing and flowing of instability for God knows how long. Sudan, same thing. So Yugoslavia. That's the thing I don't get is why someone in the West decides that they're going to choose what the answer should be.
Well, hang on, it's not a matter of choosing. No, Hassan isn't saying he wants to enforce this upon anybody. He's saying he thinks that would be the best solution. You know, it's a policy prescription, not a policy demand. Right? Like, you put forward what you think would be the best solution to the problem at hand, or series of problems, or series of solutions, whatever. But you don't... Look, no, he's not saying I should be given carte blanche to just enforce this upon people. This is fucking silly. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, and that's his opinion. Just like your opinion is whatever it is, and what you're paid to say is your opinion is the thing you're now saying.
over there when the people there do not want it. And there are they still want self-determination. When you ask Palestinians, do you want one state, two states, or an unequal two states, that by far it's two states that wins out. So I don't know why people get to a point where they disparage at even wanting that, because they can.
Okay, I'm done. I don't care. I don't care. You know what? Chat. I've mentioned this. My close friend died the other day, right? And it's been very difficult for me. But I had a kind of an epiphany moment this afternoon. I was looking after my young niece and nephew. It was round at their house, not my house. Although usually they do come here, but I went there anyway. It doesn't matter. Because their parents were out doing whatever, and so I was looking after them, and it was lovely. They're genuinely wonderful kids. Although my young nephew's only one, cries a lot, and he's loud. He's got a set of pipes on him. I swear to God, that kid is going to be a town crier or some shit. Anyway, the point is, it kind of dawned on me. Because, okay, I'll go back a couple of days before that. So on like Thursday, Wednesday, whenever it was, I met up with, let's just say, a mutual person who knew my friend John, and we were both having a little kind of emotional talk about him and his death and all the rest of it. And he said, this guy said, "You shouldn't be upset about it all, Kev." And he said, "You know what John would have said?" And we both instantly said, "Don't be a tart." Because that's what he would have said. "Don't be a tart about it, Kev. I'm only dead. You're still alive. The fuck are you worried about, you cunt? Just have a couple of beers. Chill the fuck out." You know? Don't be such a tart about it. But that's exactly what it would have said. Anyway, and so that was sort of playing in my mind. And then I was looking after my niece and nephew, and it kind of dawned on me, kind of clicked inside me, that it's not about like the past. You don't forget the people that came and went, but it's about the future. It's about new life happening. Life and death are intrinsically linked. Dead people die, new people are born. The cycle continues. And so it's for the future. Don't get hung up on the past. Don't get hung up on wasting your fucking time. Don't invest so much time into crying about what's lost. Put that energy into building something that is yet to happen. Invest in the future, in the next generation, And so that's what I'm trying to do. And that includes slop content like that. I don't want to waste my time on it. Don't get me wrong, I still will from time to time, because some of it can be quite fun. Some of it can be fucking amazing fun to do. But this was just boring. This was just an IDF paid shill doing IDF paid shill stuff. What was the fucking point of listening to it? So I'm just not fucking gonna. Do you have a link? What link do you have? That is a very weird Ronald Reagan meme. Thank you, Phantom. That is. That is weird. What is this? We might do that another day. Thank you, 255. Much love. Did I say thank you to Kimberly for 38 months of Prime? I'm not sure if I did, but thank you. Anyway, I'm gonna fuck off. Who shall I send everybody over to? You've been Rick Ronald. Oh, for God's sake. Ronald did? Not sure. Oh, Owen McDonald is going. He hasn't been on for a while. I'll send you over there. And I'll. Who's going on Twitch? Who is going on Twitch? Tina too. We haven't been over to Tina in a little while. Go and say hello to Tina. Who is good beans? And I will see you all probably tomorrow, I think. Sunday, yeah, probably for award-winning journalism, probably, maybe, I don't know, or not, I'm not sure. Free Palestine, no pass around.